Hi, everybody. Thanks for coming to ACC, to the Highland campus. I think this may be the first event in this room, and if it's not, let's just pretend that it is. So, welcome. My name is Ted Hadjiantich. I'm an associate professor of government/political science and the director of our Great Questions program here at Austin Community College. And the focus of our event today is to hear from all of us up here about the wonderful programs that we're all involved in, and to essentially brag about how excellent they are. And then we'll have an opportunity for you all to engage with us and our panel of our esteemed experts to the front here. So we'll get to it. We'll try to keep it right on time. And I think because I'd like to ask each of our panelists to introduce themselves. And at ACC, because students come first, we'll start with our student who is here to join us. Thank you so much for being here. So please just let us know your name and which program you're in, and maybe the thing that excites you the most about being at ACC.
Hello, everyone. My name is Angelica Laguna. I'm currently in the communication program, and something that I really like about ACC, it's like the structures, the new ones. It's so modern, and like everything is. It make it easier and fun to come to school. Yeah, thanks.
Thank you.
I'm Tim Dittmar. I'm the Department Chair for Music, Business, Performance, and Technology. And what I like about ACC, should I say that?
Please.
What I like about ACC now especially is that we have all of the arts and digital media programs here on one campus. And it's going to make it a lot better for our students. They'll be able to network with a lot of people just like themselves.
Hi, my name is Sean Perry, and I'm the Department Chair of Photography, also in the Arts and Digital Media Division. My favorite thing about ACC is certainly the community, kind of following on what Tim's saying, certainly our division being here, but also just the opportunity that you have in so many interesting programs to build community and network and colleagues. It's wonderful. So.
Hi, everyone. I'm Curtis Stevens. I'm the Executive Dean of Accelerators and Strategic Initiatives. And what I love about ACC is actually the people here. We have some amazing faculty, staff, and even students. It's been amazing. I've lived in Europe. I've worked in many different universities and in different situations. The people we have here are so passionate and so connected to students. I run the accelerators, and in the accelerators, I get to see the professors teach. There's no walls. I get to see the student studies. I get to see the staff come in and relate. And I'm going to tell you, it's been just amazing. Every department has some really special people in it. And I will tell you, just yesterday, college algebra professor, he was looking at the students, and they were like this, and I'm like, oh, God. And he goes, everybody time out. I need y'all to soldier through. I need y'all to make it. I need y'all to stay focused. And I was thinking, I ain't never had no professor just stop class and tell me to soldier through. And I'm here for you. And that was just so powerful, seeing that professor recognizing college algebra, right? The stress, and giving their students the passion and can continue. And so that's what I love about it. I love that we have some really amazing staff and faculty here.
Wow, I have to go after that. Hi, everybody. My name is Megan Diaz. I am the outreach specialist for a program here at ACC called Ascender. And we are an academic transfer program for all first-year students. And I am really excited to tell y'all more about that in a little bit. I love ACC because I was born and raised here in Austin, and I have seen this college thrive and flourish and grow. So it's really an honor to be here today, so thank you so much.
Thanks, everybody. I'd like to start out with a question for everybody, but initially for Tim and Sean. You represent music and photography and other things, of course, and I think we all have a sense of what those things are generally. But Curtis, you emphasize the sort of like personal dimension with students. I was wondering if there's like an anecdote from your experience teaching over the years that really stands out for you about the power of the programs that you lead in the lives of students? Is there any like one or two, or because I think that like that's really the heart of it, you know.
I'll let Sean start.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you for that. Let's see. So I think one of the things that we focus on is the idea, like in our world with photography, is how do you define and then succeed in a photographic life? Because that's different for lots of different people. Like if I say you're going to work as a photographer, what does that mean? Are you going to shoot weddings, or you want to shoot for a magazine? Are you going to make pictures on your own and then hope somebody buys them? I mean, there's so many different ways that the world learns about itself and others through pictures, right? So we have a big scope of that. That's one part that's rewarding with students, to be able to help them define what that is, and then to help them prepare for a creative practice to be successful in that, versus just an idea of being a professional, I think one. An anecdote is there was one student who really struggled with the formality of starting to build their craft, right? Like, because it becomes a thing where you have to make things on a day-to-day basis in a consistent manner, not just when you're inspired, right? So the formality of learning that craft, the student was very frustrated, almost quit. And writing a letter back, it didn't come to me, it went to one of the other instructors, about how successful they are now because of that formality and craft. You know, so there's lots of stories that people will tell you like that, but to experience that firsthand is just, it stops you in your tracks, you know. I mean, they've been able to build a life and have a ridiculously successful career. They're doing 6 figures. They've already paid off all of their college loans. They bought a home, you know, all through, you know, this foundation that they built. So that's one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think that, I think that really emphasizes like one of the core reasons why a college education is so important, regardless of what the discipline is. It helps you build a life and not just the job.
Right, right, absolutely.
All right. So I would say one of the unique things that always amazes me is that I'm still a performing musician. Most of the people in our department are. We're a workforce department. And I don't think I've played a show in at least the last 15 years where the person running sound wasn't an ACC student. And so for me, that is really inspiring, because I'm out there performing all the time, and the person you know, that's running sound is a student often, all the time. And it's kind of become a joke with the band, because we'll go play someplace and we show up and they're like, "Oh, is this your student?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, hey Juan, how's it going?" So for me, it's really great just to see them out there working. Again, being a workforce department, that means a lot to me, because that's what I get fulfillment out of this job, is seeing the students come through the program and actually get to go out there and work. There wasn't a program like this when I was going through college. There wasn't anything like this. So that to me is really inspiring, because now we have a program like this that students can come through and actually learn the things that maybe took me 30 years to learn. So,
yeah. Thanks. Megan, you've got the mic. Can you go next?
Sure. So, well, do you mind repeating the question for me real quick?
Yeah. Well, what's a moment that stood out for you in, you know, your time at ACC interacting with students, where you felt like the program that you work on has had a meaningful impact on their lives?
Well, what's meaningful for me is when I see a student's confidence go from rock bottom and it goes sky high. I have seen my students, they are first-year students, so they don't know where to start. They have no support. As much as their family wants to help them, they can't, because they don't know how to. They may not know, maybe English is their second language, so they're maybe a little bit more insecure, not as confident. And seeing over their first year of college, from the fall to the spring, they get empowered. They feel like they are capable to do what anyone else can do. We've seen their knowledge grow. Their English skills have gotten better in reading and writing. So seeing my students know, I know what financial aid is, I know what FAFSA is, I know how to apply to a scholarship, I know how to build a resume and a cover letter. That's exactly why this program exists, because we want students to know that they are fully capable of doing whatever their mind is put to, whatever their heart wants, they can get it. So that's a few things that come to mind, is empowerment and confidence.
Yeah, we see that so often in the Great Question seminars. There's a first-year seminar for students at ACC. Students that have some of whom maybe have never read a whole book cover to cover, complete Homer's Odyssey, and have these introspective, probing conversations about their own lives, and it's a really empowering experience. And we partner with y'all at Ascender, and it's a really wonderful partnership, and we're glad for it. Thank you. Curtis.
Let's see, something that stands out.
You've inspired me to ask the question because you've already shared such a.
Well, I'll go back to the staff. So in the accelerator before the pandemic, we would average 1,500 students a day coming through the accelerator lab. And I thought one of the things that I was always concerned about is that our leadership, all the way from the chancellor and the vice chancellor, how much they could be disconnected, because sometimes you're worried about policy and procedures, but where's your interaction? And we decided to do check students in at the front desk. And the first person who decided to do that was our fantastic chancellor. And he brought his wife. And what was amazing, we usually have red vests, so we had a red vest, and he sat there, and we trained him how to check the students in at the front desk. And what was magical, what's really amazing, was as he was sitting there, and students would come in, once the students realized who he was, they started having conversations with him and telling him, either thank you for keeping tuition down, I appreciate it. There was a moment when one student started to cry because she failed the Innistree. She failed the class, and it was interesting how he responded to keep her going. And it showed me that, again, when I talk about wonderful people, how he's able to connect with our students. And I don't know if you get a chance to go to other colleges to have someone at that leadership level to come in, sit at the front desk, and check regular students in, because you don't know what you're going to experience at that front desk with so many students coming in. And it was just amazing, the interaction. And some of them was upset about something, and they told him. And so our students really appreciate it, because it was, I want to say something, I want to give my voice, and I'm upset with this. And here was the chance that I get to say this to him. And afterwards that happened, there were students that came back and said, that was one of the most amazing experiences I had, because I never had a chance to talk to somebody in that level. And so that interaction, again, to me, it's really magical. It's really inspirational. And again, that's what I think sets us apart from a lot of other places.
Thanks, Curtis. Is experience maybe that you have as a student dealing with faculty here at ACC, is there something that stands out for you about how a member of the ACC faculty or staff, of course, were able to support you in helping you to reach a goal?
Something that stands out for an ACC is the fact that you can actually get a really good education, and it's affordable. Like, I am a part-time worker, and I don't have enough, I don't make enough money to pay for college. And if it wouldn't be for ACC and for the financial aid program and everything that they offers to me, I wouldn't be able to actually attend to college or survive. So yeah, that is something that actually I'm thankful for.
Yeah, this is a really important point. I mean, I think one of the things that distinguishes ACC is our low tuition, but also the fact that it hasn't gone up in 10 years. So I mean, that's a pretty remarkable thing. Thinking about student support and how the institution supports our students go through programs. Wondering if we could all speak a bit about what we do in our programs to help students be more successful. And I think people talk about student success, and it's as if this has one definition. I don't think it does. I think it changes depending upon the program, depending upon our interactions with students. I mean, in Great Questions, our success for our students is becoming more thoughtful about something. So if I have a student who is in my class, and at the end of the classroom, I say, "Does it make more sense?" And they go, "No, I feel more confused, but at a higher level." I'm like, "Success! That's success in a Great Questions classroom." Maybe what does success mean in your programs, and what do you do to help your students achieve that?
I think success means, it depends on the student. Each student kind of, in our program anyway, they have different goals and aspirations. And so success can be coming in and actually getting an AAS, getting a degree. It could be getting certified in a specific area, but it could be also just training, taking a course. For instance, we have a lot of students that come in and just take audio engineering 1 and take live sound, and they get a job immediately. So that's success for that student. They're not trying to come in and get a degree or a certificate. They're just trying to get into the workforce so they can make a living because they want to be part of the Austin music scene. So I think, again, like I said earlier, seeing students out there all the time, I don't know that there's a live music club in Austin that doesn't have an ACC graduate in it. And I mean anything from running live sound to booking that club, or putting together an event. We work all the major events from ACL to South by Southwest to the Old Sellers Festival that just happened. We have people at all of those events. So to me, success is getting people a job, and that's what most of our students are coming through. And so again, they have different levels of what success is to them. And it could also just be, I completed a college course and I didn't know that I could do that. So yeah, it's defined by the student, and we try to really identify each student as an individual and help them succeed for what they want to do. So, thanks.
I think there's a lot of things to speak to for this. One, certainly a creative practice. Like, so when you start a creative practice, how do you make things happen on the days that you're not passionate, or how do you make things happen on the days that it's difficult? So certainly in our world, one of the things that we do in photography is kind of talk about how you work in a creative practice and kind of building the difference between passion and desire. And there's a great chef from California named Thomas Keller, who wrote a lot about the difference in like passion and desire and his failure and successes, and how passion is something that can be ephemeral. Like it can kind of come and go. There's days that you're not passionate, but building that desire to try to do something a little bit better each day to, over the course of a trajectory, to kind of go where you want to go. And so I think for a lot of it is success is what are ways that we can help you shorten that trajectory between where you're trying to go and where you are, and building the tools to help you get there in the most efficient and consistent way possible to solve problems, to have a successful creative practice, and how you define that.
So success within the Ascended program comes in a lot of various ways. And the point of the program is for students to transfer and hopefully get their bachelor's degree. So when we have students enroll in the program and I say, okay, remember, the point of this program is for you to get enough credits and hopefully eventually transfer. And a lot of times students look at me like, oh my gosh, this is my first day of school. You're already telling me to transfer. Like, I don't even know what I'm doing. I just started. And I'm like, okay, hold on. Let's take a break. So yes, we want you to finish your first year of college. We want you to feel comfortable. I'm not pressuring you to transfer next year. This is your timeline. And that's what I tell every student in our program, is that this is your timeline. Every student is different. Every student is special in your own unique way. So for success for me personally is, yes, if a student transferred to a university, but more so that they're able to raise their GPA. They're not getting all of these student loans in a year, like tens of thousands of dollars, like I did when I went to university. Success for me is seeing that students are like, okay, I know what my resources are. I know who to go to for help. I know that I'm not alone. So beyond that as well, I would have to say too, seeing that our Ascender students also can influence their siblings or their cousins or their friends to come to ACC and get an education is another route of success, because that's what it takes. You students are our word of mouth, that y'all are our marketers. We want you to have a good experience at ACC and within the program, because that's what makes this college go. That's what makes this college successful. So I would just have to say, I know that's a lot of successes right there, but just seeing that my students can make it from year 1 to year 2 and to maybe even transfer, that's what makes me happy at the end of the day, because I want my students to be happy and feel fulfilled in their life.
Thanks. Yeah, I want to emphasize before we get to Curtis, because this is really relevant to, I think, the ways in which you both help students become more successful in our programs. Because we've heard from faculty, leadership here about what we do in our academic and career programs to help students be more successful. But then we also have these support structures at ACC to help our students take full advantage of them. And Ascender is one of the many programs we have at ACC, in addition to academic coaching and free childcare and tutoring and all these other wonderful support structures. And Curtis, you head up perhaps one of the most visible of these structures, the accelerator and learning labs and all these.
I would think about, you had the academic coaches, the advisors, but also we've done amazing things at ACC by creating success coaches, completion coaches, because there are a lot of students out there don't realize how close they are, and sometimes life happens and you struggle, and you got that completion coach to reach out to you and say, hey, you're just as close to that finish line, to get that pump to keep pushing you. For me in the accelerator, we talk about success, and we always say, I would tell my staff over and over, success happens when a student feels welcome, when they're recognized as individuals, and when they think the institution really say you matter to us. And what we tried to do, every April 1st, we would do a survey to students to get their feedback. And I would tell you, if you're a student, please give feedback. Let people know how you feel. You will not be successful if you don't give your feedback, and also if you do not utilize the resources. There's so many amazing resources here. You can't hold back and not use them. They're here. They help you. They're free. You have access to them. You got to utilize them. Don't be afraid to have one-on-one with a faculty and tell them you're struggling and I need help. How can you help me? Where can I get resources? We have so much on this campus at this college that will support you and get you through the finish line. My staff, one of the biggest things we really, really care about is customer service. And my staff would tell you they have to take a customer service test every year, and they got to pass it 90%. Why? Because you really, really are important to us. We want you to feel welcome. We want you to feel that we recognize you as individuals, and we want you to feel like we really care. We started what we call the Accelerator Persistent Award, and we believe it's not about GPA. It's about that we see you every day show up. You come through the Accelerator Lab. And the nice thing with the Accelerator Lab, you can come in and take a class. You got access to tutors. You got access to academic coaches. It's like a one-stop shop to give you that help that you need. We can get you to the resources you want. And so we got all this great stuff here, and we're here for you. And so I wanted to make sure my staff really digs about customer service. One of the things that I think a lot of colleges and universities are missing is this concept of customer service. And I think every place need to have that aspect. I know sometimes we talk to faculty and faculty say, well, you can't call a student customer. No, but we are serving them, we're supporting them. We need to understand that they make them feel that they are important. True academic customer service makes the student the center of everything what we do. Whether it's our syllabus, whether we show up and check in, how do I make you feel like you're welcome? How do I make you feel that we recognize you? And when we do those things, we see students coming back. One of the crazy thing I found out last week is that we have what we call accelerator fanatics, that they graduated from ACC, they go to UT, they may be working on a bachelor's degree or master's, and then we see them back in the accelerator studying, right? Because the comfort, the connection that they get and feel is so powerful. It's amazing. I used to be a Uber driver, and I would pick up some of the UT students, and they would find out that I was working at ACC, and immediately they'd say, oh man, it was so cool, the connection that I got with faculty. Classes of 24, so I got some attention. I'm not sitting in a 500 classroom kind of lost. It's not overwhelming. You guys make it, I can connect with people. And that's one of the greatest things that we've been trying to do here is make sure that each student is connected to as many people that we have.
Thanks. All right, we've got one more thing for us to talk about, and then we'll open it up for Q&A and invite our other panelists here to participate in responding to your questions, which I hope you have some. So this other question has to do with sort of the the facilities and structures at ACC to help make our students more successful. What are the ones that we're most excited about, especially the new stuff like the ones we're in right now? I know that on the liberal arts side of things, facilities are, but we don't need dark rooms and recording consoles and things like that. But one of the things that I think that we're doing differently with facilities in our zone is to have discussion-based classes, to focus in the liberal arts less on a professor standing up and doing an information download to students and having that be more of a collaborative approach. And oftentimes on this campus, I know that I take my students outside because sometimes having a conversation with masks on can be challenging. So we take chairs outside in the space right over here, and we circle around at appropriate distance, and we have conversations. And when we need a whiteboard, we drag one out, and it's nice to have access to all that stuff here. So although it's not very high tech, it's certainly high impact. You said it's your first time in this part of ACC. What's most striking to you?
Talking about like the facilities, I think it's been like with the pandemic and everything, it's really hard to stay focused in like taking the classes at home. So it's funny because like whenever I came to, it's something like that he was talking about, the accelerator. Whenever you come to the facilities in here in ACC, or like you just come to the campus, you just get like contagious with the fact that you need to work, because you come to here and you start like seeing everyone is like doing something, and like whenever you came here, you watch them, and then you see like, okay, I need to do my homework. I need to work on something too. So it's something that it make it easier, and like the fact that you can just go to the accelerator and like start working in your homework, and if you have questions about anything, you can just make an appointment. That helped me a lot with the tutoring, which are free. I love them. That they help me a lot with my math. And it makes it so easier, and yeah, it make it also like fun. It's not like boring to come to school, and seeing, it's cool to see something like colorful, has like a lot of technology, and it's cool.
Thanks for that. I mean, that's such a wonderful thing to emphasize. Just the fact that we're all here together on campus in person is perhaps the most important thing about this facility. It's a space for us to be together and learn, and that is so essential in higher education. So thank you for pointing that out. I'm really grateful to be here with you in this room together. This is a wonderful thing. All right, tell us about all the cool things in the recording studio.
So I've been working in Austin since the 80s, and I've worked in recording studios pretty much everywhere, Chicago, LA, been all over the place. And our recording studios here at ACC are some of the best recording studios in the country. I definitely could say that they're the best at any college, and I've been to every college in the state of Texas and seen their facilities. So the recording studios and the technology for us, it's ridiculous. If y'all get a chance, we're going to be doing tours after this. I'm going to be over at real close to here in room 1420, and we're going to be taking tours around our facilities. If y'all want to check that out, y'all should come and check it out. Also, besides the recording studios, we have 4 incredible smart labs for teaching, which allows the instructor to have, or for the students to have the software in front of them with a controller and an interface. And at the old campus at Northridge many years ago, no student even had a computer in front of them. And you would basically tell them, show them, demonstrate, and then maybe in a week they could come back, or whenever they had a chance to go into the lab and learn. Now it's instant. I'm blown away by what the future is for our students, just because we were teaching without the tools and now we have the tools. And so we were very lucky that we had faculty that got those students to where they needed to be without those tools. And now we have the tools, the campus, the interdisciplinary opportunities. It's ridiculous. You're taxpayers, if you're an Austin taxpayer, you finally got your money's worth. That's what I'm going to say. So.
Yeah, I think ridiculous is, I mean, I want to take classes here, right? Like, I mean, I'm trying to find time between my schedule in other departments that I want to take courses. It is really ridiculous. I've also taught in other places. I taught in New York at an art school there, School of Visual Arts, and it exceeds it. It's absolutely amazing. And I think one of the things that is just awesome is when students write us and say they've moved on to a 4-year school and how ahead they are. Like, they enter in at their 3rd year and they're waiting on people to catch up to what they were able to do here. Another thing that I think happens like throughout our division, throughout the colleges, they're not just classes or proxies of building skills and working. They are the thing. So when you're in photography or you're in music and you're working on things in the classroom, those are the exact same moves, the exact same things that you're going to be doing in your creative practice, in your career, not just a proxy of. And it's amazing, like you were saying here about the community here, that you have this concentrated time to where you have access to so many things, so many people, so many different paths that you can learn about and do. So ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous.
So first and foremost, I want to give ACC huge kudos, because I remember when this was Highland Mall, and seeing, you know, where the TV studio is, like, that was the food court. And I'm just like, oh my God, I used to eat a burger there. Like, this is crazy. So first and foremost, that's one thing that I just loved to see, was the transformation. Aside from that, I love me some food. I'm sure there's other foodies in here also. So going to the culinary arts is amazing, seeing all the, I don't even know the verbiage, but the stoves, all their equipment, just everything that they're cooking with, and seeing them make these beautiful foods and desserts. Like, I can't wait till we get back to normal so I can go back to Riverback Cafe and, so be their #1 fan like I always am. So the culinary department is really, really impressive. If there's any future chefs out there, y'all are at the right place, because again, I will be at your restaurant one day supporting you. So that's my favorite thing about this, is the food department.
I mean, wow, ACC. I've been doing a tour the last 2 months, going to different campuses, looking at the different programs, from the accelerator to the fashion incubator to the bioscience incubator to the impact lab. Podcasting that's down the way. The other day I was with the EMS program. You walk in and they have a makeshift ambulance inside the room, which the lights flashes up. They got state-of-the-art stuff that dials and everything. It's wow. It's wow that at a community college we are investing in this type of level of training and real access. And that's why when you think about our nursing program, we say when ACC nurses finish, they get snatched up in a heartbeat. I mean, we're producing amazing students because we got amazing things that we're sharing and connecting with them. It's just fantastic.
I love the thought of, we basically are a civilization at ACC. If you want to learn how to do anything, you can do it at ACC. And in my mind, I have this with liberal arts impact on that. The Great Questions is the class that you start your education off with, and you learn, you read Homer's Odyssey, you read different religious texts from all over the world, you study poetry from all over the world, you study classical geometry. And I like thinking about everybody that I interact with at ACC in the community at Austin, in Austin, has had some connection to ACC and a little taste of all of those things. And I think that altogether, we're making our community a much better place. So thank you all for participating in our panel today and in the important work that we're doing. Before we turn it over to questions, because I do want to, we're getting short on time. We have a number of other folks from ACC here to help answer your questions, and I'm going to pass the mic around to y'all very briefly. If you could just say who you are, or where you're from, what you do at ACC, where you're from, meaning like the zone at ACC. Oh, thank you. Yeah, not like the part of Austin you're from, just like discipline.
Hi, everyone. I'm Christian Raymond. I'm the department chair and a professor in the radio, television, and film department. And we're giving some guided tours right down the hall. You may have to walk a few feet, but we're close by. So,
Hi, everybody. My name is Perry Crafton. I'm currently serving as interim dean for the Arts and Digital Media Division, but I'm also a faculty member in the drama department. So if any of you are interested in drama, acting, technical theater, come find me.
Hello, I'm Brent Baggett. I teach digital art in the art program here in Building 4000. I just want to say, if it wasn't mentioned earlier, to please check out our new galleries. They are beautiful, and there's a lot of great artwork to look at right now.
Hello, I'm Catherine Solas, and I'm the chair of the dance department. And we are located right across the Paseo. We've got a lot of stuff going on today and all weekend in the Black Box Theater and in 2 dance studios. So come visit us and check out some open rehearsals and free classes that are open to the community.
Hello, everybody. My name is Carrie Williams. I'm an assistant adjunct professor here in the Visual Communications Department. I teach typography, digital publishing, which is InDesign software, as well as career exploration in visual communication. So if you're interested in visual design, graphic design, user experience, web design, please come and talk to me or ask a question here today.
Hey everybody, my name is Dwayne Bandy. I run the Joy department. We are right upstairs in building 4000. If you want to see some live casting demonstrations, we'll be running that here in just a few minutes when we get out of here. I guess that's about it. Come see us.
My name is Shane Anderson, and I teach piano. I'm the chair of the music department. We're distinctly separate from Tim. Oh, he's not here. From the music business department, they deal with audio engineering and sound production, and we deal with the traditional side of transfer to a 4-year university with voice and choir and wind ensemble and string ensemble and piano and that sort of thing. So that's what we do, and we're right that way, straight outside this room.
Thanks
I'm
everybody for
Jessica
being
back
here.
here in the back where the microphone for you all is located. So anyone who has a question, feel free to come back here. I'm also happy to grab one of their mics and bring it to you if you want. But you've heard all the names of everyone who was here this afternoon. I got it right and didn't say morning this time. And so feel free to ask your questions. A couple of, as you heard, additional demonstrations and tours and things will continue to happen in these programs right after we wrap up here.
Alternately, you can just speak your question very loudly from where you are, and I'll repeat it.
I'll just do this. How about this? Anybody have a question? Comment? Yes. Here we go. See, it's always, there we go.
My name is Camry. I'm a student here at ACC. And first of all, I'd just like to say, I love all your speeches. And just like me too, ACC has helped me a lot too. Because growing up, I had a disability that didn't make me the best of students, but then I did a little bit of an internship after high school, which helped me a lot. It helped me to grow and develop, communication and all that stuff, but it wasn't enough. So when I came here too, it helped me, expand my world a lot. So, and helped me to connect with people who I didn't think I could. And, even as I was growing up, coming here was nothing like I thought it would be, because, I always thought college is this whole, different thing in my head. So, I really like your speech. And so, I guess for those of you towards the front, what would you say is, the biggest, challenge in your life, like me?
Is it for us or for y'all? I mean, this is a really good question.
For any of y'all up there.
So I connect with you a little bit on this. I'm currently running the Joy department. I'm full-time faculty. All my formal training in Joy came from ACC. So ACC is really important to me. It's really great. I'm back here teaching. I took my first jewelry classes after a really bad car wreck. So I had a little connection there. Wow, y'all. Anyway, AC is really important to me because it was there at a time in my life when I really needed it. It was there at a time in my life when I was making a total change in my life. And it was the experience that all of y'all talk about. It was that experience of community, that experience of support, and that experience of an education I couldn't get anywhere else. There's no other department like the one I went through, and I think that's probably true, which I'll talk about with music and the music business, wherever he went. There are other places with the same names of departments, or other places that say they do the same thing. I don't think there's any place that does what ACC does. I think a lot of times I see this from students that come through. You can tell the difference in the students who have only known ACC, and they kind of take it for granted, not in a bad way, they just don't know anything else, and they go someplace else and they email me, they go, I didn't know what we had. I really appreciate it now. Or students from other places, because people come to ACC from all kinds of backgrounds. If you talk to anybody, you know that. People come for second careers, third careers, total change of life. And people come through and they look around and they go, I've been all over the country. This is what you were talking about. I've been all over the country, all over the world, and other places don't do what they do here. Right. And so, anyway, my challenge was coming here to get back to your actual question, going through a change of real big life change. I dropped out of a PhD program. I came to ACC. Ultimately, turned out I needed brain surgery for what happened. And ACC was there for me the entire time.
Yeah,
So
I needed
there
brain
you go.
surgery too for what I went through. So.
So there you go. There's your connection.
Yeah,
Can
and,
I
you know, I congratulate you, the liberal arts, for you up there.
Can I answer that as well too? So my challenge wasn't a physical one, but being a creative is a mindset one of, can I really have a career in this and live a life where I pay my bills? So I'm an immigrant. My family and I were from Jamaica, and when you're an immigrant, you're expected to be a doctor, a lawyer, engineer. That's it. Your parents did not leave their house for you to come and do art, okay, and leave everything behind and their whole lives. And so I did start pre-law, and I was like, I don't want to do this. Oh my gosh, I can't do this. And so when I told my parents I'm going to be a graphic designer, they just looked at me. And my mom literally said, that sounds like a hungry belly job. So, so proving that and so my passion, and we talked about it up here, is that when I say my passion is for creatives to know you can earn a living from your skill set. You can. Now, it's work. It's a profession just like anything else. So if you want to do fashion, jewelry making, I became a graphic designer, brand strategist. I have my own business. I've been freelancing for over 15 years, and I can pay my bills and live in Austin, and you know how expensive this city is, okay? And I live by myself, okay? So, and so parents, any parents, where's the parents? Can we give parents a shout out? Any parents in the room? Thank you for showing up for your child. I just want to say, your child will be fine. They'll be loved here. This is the place. And one other thing, community college is amazing. It is amazing. ACC is amazing. I was one of those who went to a private design school. I'm still paying for it. And we just don't talk about it when I go home. We just do not talk about it. So do not let that stigma on you of I'm just coming to ACC. No, this school is amazing. And I'm not playing when I say that.
Thank you. That was really important to emphasize. I think that there have been so many students in my classes who, it's like, my parents don't want me to be a philosophy major or a government major, because that's not going to pay the bills. And oftentimes it's making those decisions that end up not just helping you pay your bills, but helping you have a really meaningful and much more lucrative career than you would have thought possible had you pursued perhaps the plan that wasn't set for you by you.
Yeah. Oh, I like that.
I wanted to add to, we talk about paying for college. That's a beautiful thing to think about coming to community college and the cost of it. The quality of education and the cost is just amazing. A typical $2,500 gets you through a semester. One of the most amazing things is we got staff helping with FAFSA, but we also got scholarships that are out there. And for a year and a half, I got to be the executive director of the foundation raising money. And one of the greatest things that we got to do and change and focused on is when we gave a student scholarships, that money normally would only pay for tuition and fees, and that's it. But when we start talking to the donors about students are going through more than just tuition and fees. And so now we start seeing the scholarships start to evolve, and now they cover other educational costs. Now, what is that educational cost? It could be you need to put gas in your car to get here, right? You have a flat tire, or you need a laptop. And so one of the coolest things I got to experience is seeing donors who've given money to ACC starting to evolve and understand the complexity of students trying to be successful. And that's another great thing about ACC, that changing that support. We also have a fantastic student emergency fund that we went through. This pandemic was tough on a lot of people struggling, and it was amazing raising money to get students to get past what they were struggling so they could stay the course. So being here, it is really, really amazing place. You're really going to be taken care of. You're going to feel welcome. You're going to be recognized as an individual, and we're going to tell you, we care about you.
Said Curtis, thank you. That's going to wrap it up for our forum today. I want to thank our panelists. I want to thank our Q&A experts. I want to thank all of you for coming. There is still time to go out and check out all the demonstrations, all the activities going on, and the tours available. That's one reason Tim had to duck out. So please, we don't want you to miss out on any of those activities. Feel free to continue exploring ACC Highland. If you want to have a conversation with any of the folks who you've met here today, come on down to. I know a microphone can be a little intimidating, so you're welcome to come down. You're welcome to walk out. Please enjoy your time. Thank you.